All right, my producer was pretty obsessed with the show Succession, right? The drama of a mega rich family fighting and backstabbing for their dad's approval, hoping to be next in line to lead the family business. While the real world may not be quite so extreme, but it does highlight the need for a plan. The business coaches with Action Coach Columbus back in this sponsored segment. Pete McDowell, Peg Buehrle, always good to see you both.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I hear this is a popular topic, right? With your clients. They're kind of saying, give me some advice on this topic, right?
We're talking about this multiple times a week. That's why we talk about it a lot.
That's why we're talking about it now, right? Exactly.
All right. So what do we consider? All right, let's start here. And this is to figure out a date, you say, okay? So what does that mean? What date are we talking about?
It'd be great to say it's 2030 on January 1st, not 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Because 5 years from now can turn into next year, it'll be 5 years from then. And 5 years from then.
And can you guess how many people actually have a date? What percent?
4. Only because of your hesitation.
That's very good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's less. I was going to say almost never. Does anybody have a date when we ask what's
It's
your date?
rare.
It's very rare. So it's the first step in making sure that we can set a plan. Is what's our destination?
Okay, yeah, you got to have that goal. So then here's the other thing. Just because you're leaving the business or you're retiring, whichever it may be, doesn't mean you have to let go of ownership, correct?
That's true. And some of our clients will dial back a bit. So they might start taking a Friday off every week or maybe working 2 days a week for 2-3 years.
Or working from their beach house.
Working from the beach house in Florida.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
It happens. That's okay.
We have several clients that are doing that right now where they are literally at their second home and letting the company run without them.
Right.
And they're still owners, but they're not a part of the business.
And you kind of have to do that, I feel like, so the security factor is there, right? So that you feel safe leaving it.
Right.
The next one, something we all need to consider, and that is our income for retirement. You tell them to think about that.
Right.
In what regard?
What lifestyle are you going to be needing when you retire? How much travel and how much you spend, and let's figure out that number now so you can build toward that. And you really need to know that to know what the value of your business needs to be at that point and how much are you saving.
And one thing that is a surprise for a lot of people is when you're looking at what your number is, they forget how many expenses may be running through the business that they're taking advantage of, like a company car.
Right.
Or a company phone. So what is it that you have to back out? Because when you don't have the business anymore, those need to be allocated somewhere.
Okay, that's important to note. Okay, the other thing you said, because it's not an overnight decision, it's about preparing. So how do you prepare it for what is maximum value? What does that mean? What goes into that thought process?
Well, that's a big process, which we won't cover today, but it's really about building the business so that it can work without you. So you've developed leaders or you've hired some other leaders and you've got people that can run it as well or hopefully better than you did. And that takes some time.
Hopefully better.
And that's one of the things we do and we work on is to make sure that internally we are building the business so you get to do what you want to do when you want to do it or you want to sell it. And so that, for example, one time we get often that, let's say Sam is running the company, but he's not really paying himself enough money to replace himself. So, we make sure you're paying yourself what you should if you were to be replaced.
And when you guys talk about this succession plan, and this may go into that a little bit, is it always a small business, big business? Does everyone need one, no matter what their income is or what the situation is?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes. Short answer.
And the majority of people, I would say, do not.
And it's not quite as dramatic as on TV.
Although does that complicate things?
There's some parts of it,
like
though.
A family dynamic.
We do have family dynamics in which people quit talking to each other because the plan hasn't been communicated.
Okay.
So we were just telling one client this week that said, just communicate it and all will be better.
And start early.
Start, if you can, 10 years out. If not, we have some people doing 5 years out, depending
What
on
if they communicate it and then it's your brother that's getting it, not you, and then you're afraid because you're just going to start that drama earlier? Right. I'm sticking up for them. I'm devil's advocate for the business owners.
That happens. We're dealing with that right now. And so what we're doing is bringing them together and saying, if you do want to be a part of it, what would it take? What are the rules? What are the expectations? What do we need from you?
Okay.
So that's why you have that conversation, because that is happening right now.
And delaying uncomfortable conversations is something we work with people with all the time. And it's usually better to do it sooner rather than later.
Okay, and you have seen it and experienced it enough to know, and like many things in business, they have done that, so you can get advice, actioncoachcolumbus.com, and as always, order the copy of The Honest Truth About Leadership. You can head over to Amazon even to grab that as well. So, guys, thanks for being here.
Thanks,
Thank
Robyn.
you.